Google Earth helps World Land Trust US in many ways. It's probably the most important tool available to us and many conservationists in assessing land use, particularly the areas that we're hoping to purchase, land that we're hoping to buy. We want to assess how much of it's forest, what are the threats to it, where they're coming from, what would be the future management issues, and that helps us in making a really accurate decision on whether we should be involved in supporting that project or not. Google Earth has had some unfortunate drawbacks, and I've been very fortunate to work with some of their staff in improving the accuracy of data, in getting better imagery for Google Earth. One of the major issues that plagues Google Earth is cloud cover. Some of the most important areas for rainforest protection happen to be very wet and they have a lot of cloud all year round. To get good satellite imagery has been extremely difficult, and so we've been able to work with Google Earth in highlighting some of the key areas that we really need good imagery for. But unfortunately not all of those areas have been successfully obtained, and so many of the reserves, particularly in the northern Andes, have been a real struggle. And you can see here an example is large areas of the Choco, for example, of Ecuador, remain under a dense cloud of white, and unfortunately some of the reserves in these areas we're unable to see any information. Yeah, on June 26th, I was amazed when I opened up Google Earth that originally coming from an area of dense cloud, now the area of all of the northern Andes and South America have attained complete cloudless cover. This is fantastic for us. As you know, we try to minimize our travel costs in going to these sites and having to do ground surveys when there is a lot of cloud cover. Now every site, even in the Choco Union, some of the wettest areas on Earth, have now got recent cloud-free cover. This allows us to show the forest condition, how much is under threat, where the potential threats are coming from. It really helps us both make decisions in where we strategically purchase lands, but also importantly in the future management and monitoring of those lands. It's really essential we continue to track the progress of these protected areas. We're working with our partners, seeing where potential problems may occur and addressing them before they become a problem. So really, thanks to Google Earth, this is one of the most important tools for conservation, certainly for allowing us to allocate our limited resources, but also with our partners in really the most appropriate and best management of these areas to ensure that they are protected in perpetuity. One of the most important areas in South America that we work in is a reserve called Buenaventura. It occurs at the southern end of the Choco and in the foothills of the Ecuadorian Andes. This is an extremely important area for biodiversity. It includes some of the dry forest Tombasian species, flora and fauna, and also the wet Choco as well as the Andean. It's a real melting pot of biodiversity. Very little forest remains in this area. It's almost entirely deforested. However, with our partner Fundación Hocotoca, we've been working to protect this area. However, one of our big challenges has been, as we secure more properties, including one this year, we've done it under complete cloud cover. I'll give you an example here. This is Buenaventura. We're coming into the site here in the foothills of the Andes, and you can see our map here. I'll show a map of properties. We've mapped the properties. They're in this region, we've got contours, but we don't know what the cloud cover is like. So thankfully on the June 26th with the updated imagery, if I take you to that now, you will see it's cloud free. And you can see exactly that large areas are in pasture and only the forested upper parts are in forest. That's allowed us, when we're looking at these potential new acquisitions, the areas in pink here, we're able to make good decisions as to what areas need to be reforested, and that aids us in both deciding what properties we want to secure of these areas, but more importantly the management that's required once they've been purchased. So this is phenomenal imagery for us to work with now.